What's up, chat? Hope you guys are doing good. Happy Friday. Hope you guys have a good start to the weekend. As always, we're reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Let's waste no more time and let's get into it. The fear of criticism. Most people, at the least, very uncomfortable when criticized. In some cases, they may become depressed and despondent when others censor them. The fear of criticism robs people of their initiative, destroys their power of imagination, limits their individuality, takes away their self-resilience, and does them damage in 100 other ways. Parents often do their children irreparable injury by criticizing them. The mother of one of my boyhood chums used to punish him with a switch almost daily, always completing the job with the statement, "You'll end up in prison before you are 20." And he was sent to a reform school at the age of 17. Criticism is of one form of service of which everyone has too much. Everyone has a stock of it that is handed out, grades whether called for or not. One's earliest relatives are often the worst offenders. It should be recognized as a crime. In reality, it is a crime of the worst nature. For any parent to build inferiority complexes in the mind of a child through unnecessary criticism. Employers who understand human nature get the best there is out of people, not by criticism, but by constructive suggestion. Parents may accomplish the same results with their children. Criticism will plant fear or resentment in the human heart, but it will not build love or affection. The fear of ill health. This fear may be traced to both physical and social heredity. It is closely associated in origin with the causes of fear of old age and death because it leads one closely to the border of terrible worlds of which nothing is really known, but concerning which some discomforting stories have been told. Certain unethical people engaged in the business of selling health have had not a little to do with keeping alive the fear of ill health. In the main, ill health is feared because of the suffering it causes and the fear and uncertainty of what may happen when death comes. In addition, there is the fear of economic toll it may claim. A reputable doctor estimated that 75% of all people who visit doctors for professional service are suffering with hypochondrodia, imaginary illness. It has been shown most convincingly that the fear of disease, even where there is not the slightest cause for fear, often produces the physical symptoms of the disease feared. Powerful and mighty is the human mind. It builds or destroys. There's a series of experiments conducted some years ago. It was proven that people might be made ill by suggestion. We conducted this experiment by causing 3 acquaintances to visit the victims, each of whom asked the question, "What ails you? You look terribly ill." The first questionnaire usually provoked a grin and a nonchalant, "Oh, nothing, I'm all right," from the victim. The second questionnaire was usually answered with the statement, "I don't know exactly what I do feel, but I do feel bad." The third questionnaire was usually met with the frank admission that the victim was actually feeling ill. Try this on an acquaintance if you doubt that it will make them uncomfortable, but do not carry the experiment too far. In some primitive cultures, people take vengeance upon their enemies by placing a spell on the victim. Because they believe the spell is real, victims do become sick and often die. There is overwhelming evidence that disease sometimes begins in the form of a negative thought impulse. Such an impulse may be passed from one mind to another by suggestion or created by the individual in their own mind. Doctors sometimes send patients into new climates for their health because a change of mental attitude is necessary. The seed of fear of ill health lives in every human mind. Worry, fear, discouragement, disappointment in love and business affairs cause the seed to germinate and grow. The fear of loss of love. The original source of this inherent fear needs little description, and it obviously grew out of ancient man's polygamous habit of stealing his fellow man's mate and taking liberties with her whenever he could. The fear of the loss of love is the most painful of all the 6 basic fears. It probably plays more havoc with the body and mind than any of the others. One of the devastating symptoms of this fear is jealousy, being suspicious of friends and loved ones without any reasonable evidence. Another is the habit of accusing one's partner of infidelity without grounds. Further symptoms are a general suspicion of everyone, absolute faith in no one, and finding fault with friends, relatives, business associates, and loved ones upon the slightest provocation, or without any cause whatsoever. The fear of old age. The possibility of ill health is more common as people grow older, is a major cause of this common fear. Erotism also enters into the cause of the fear of old age, as no one cherishes the thought of diminishing sexual attraction. Another contributing cause of the fear of old age is the possibility of loss of freedom and independence, as old age may bring with it the loss of both physical and economic freedom. Some people show a tendency to slow down and develop an inferiority complex when they get older, falsely believing themselves to be slipping because of age. The truth is that some of the most useful years mentally and spiritually are those in later life. Unfortunately, there are older men and women who lose their initiative, imagination, and self-resilience by falsely believing themselves too old to exercise these qualities. The fear of death. To this is the curiousest of all the basic fears. The reason is obvious. We know not what to expect after death. As Shakespeare stated so well in Hamlet, it is the undiscovered country from whose bornere no traveler returns. The fear of death is not as common now as it was during the age where there was no great colleges and universities. Scientists have turned the spotlight of truth upon the world, and this truth is rapidly freeing people from this terrible fear of death. Through the aid of biology, astronomy, geology, and other related sciences, the fear of the dark ages that gripped the minds of people and destroyed their reason have been dispelled. This fear is useless. Death will come, no matter what anyone may think about it. Accept it as a necessity and pass the thought out of your mind. It must be a necessity, or it should not come to at all. The entire world is made up of only 2 things, energy and matter. In elementary physics, we learned that neither matter or energy, the only 2 known realities, can be created or destroyed. Both matter and energy can be transformed. Life is energy. If it is anything, if neither energy nor matter can be destroyed, of course life cannot be destroyed. Life, like other forms of energy, may be passed through various processes of transition or change, but it cannot be destroyed. Death is mere transition. If death is not mere change or transition, then nothing comes after death except a long, eternal, peaceful sleep, and sleep is nothing to be feared. Thus you may wipe out forever the fear of death. Worry. Worry is a state of mind based upon fear. It works slowly but persistently. It is insidious and subtle. Step by step, it digs itself in until it paralyzes one's reasoning faculty and destroys self-confidence and initiative. Worry is a form of sustained fear caused by indecision. Therefore, it is a state of mind which can be controlled. An unsettled mind is helpless. Indecision makes unsettled mind. Most individuals lack the willpower to reach decisions promptly and to stand by them after they have been made, even during normal business conditions. During periods of economic unrest, people are handicapped not only by their inherent tendency to be slow at taking decisions, but also by the indecision of others around them who have created a state of mass indecision. The 6 basic fears become translated into a state of worry through indecision. Relieve yourself forever of the fear of death by reaching a decision to accept death as an inescapable event. Whip the fear of poverty by reaching a decision to get along with whatever wealth you can accumulate without worry. Put your foot upon the neck of the fear of criticism by reaching a decision not to worry about what other people think, do, or say. Eliminate the fear of old age by reaching a decision to accept it, not as a handicap, but as a great blessing which carries with it wisdom, self-control, and understanding not known to youth. Acquit yourself of the fear of ill health by the decision to forget symptoms. Master the fear of loss of love by reaching a decision to go along without fear if that is necessary. Kill the habit of worry in all its forms by reaching a general blanket decision that nothing life has to offer is worth the price of worry. With this decision will come poise, peace of mind, and calmness of thought that will bring happiness. A person whose mind is filled with fear not only destroys their own chances of intelligent action, but transmits their destructive vibrations to the mind of other people and destroys their chances as well. Even a dog or a horse knows when its master lacks courage. Moreover, a dog or horse will pick up the vibrations of fear thrown off by its master and behave accordingly. One finds this same capacity to pick up the vibrations of fear lower down the line of intelligence in the animal kingdom. A honeybee immediately senses fear in the mind of a person. For reasons unknown, a bee will sting the person whose mind is releasing vibrations of fear much more readily than it will molest the person whose mind registers no fear. Vibrations of fear pass from one mind to another just as quickly and as surely as the sound of the human voice passes from the broadcasting station to the receiving station and by the self-same medium. Mental telepathy is reality. Thoughts pass from one mind to another voluntarily, whether or not this fact is recognized by either the person releasing the thoughts or the person who picks up those thoughts. The person who gives expression by word of mouth to negative or destructive thoughts is practically certain to experience the results of those words in the form of destructive kickback. The release of destructive thought impulses alone, without the aids of words, also produces a kickback in more ways than one. First of all, and perhaps most important to be remembered, the person who releases thoughts of a destructive nature must suffer damage through the breaking down of the faculty of creative imagination. Secondly, the presence in of the mind of any destructive emotion develops a negative personality that repels people and often converts them into antagonists. The third source of damage to the person who entertains or releases negative thoughts lies in this significant fact. These thought impulses are not only damaging to others, but they embed themselves in the subconscious mind of the person releasing them and there become a part of their character. One is never through with a thought merely by releasing it. When a thought is released, it spreads in every direction through the medium of the ether, but also plants itself permanently in the subconscious mind of the person releasing it. Your business in life is presumably to achieve success. To be successful, you must find peace of mind, acquire the material needs of life, and above all, attain happiness. All these evidences of success begin in the form of thought impulses. You may control your own mind. You have the power to feed it whatever thought impulses you choose. With this privilege goes also the responsibility of using it constructively. You are the matter of your own earthly destiny just as surely as you have the power to control your own thoughts. You may influence, direct, and eventually control your own environment, making your life what you want it to be. On the other hand, you may neglect to exercise the privilege that is yours to make your life to order, thus casting yourself upon the broad sea of circumstance, where you will be toast Hitler and yawned like a chip on the waves of the ocean. And that is chapter 15. One thing I want to talk about was this last little bit regarding the impacts that it makes on one's self, but also on others when you're constantly saying negative thoughts or being in constant fear. Not only are you the one damaging yourself, let's say, you're in great fear of ill health, love, or death, or circumstances, life in general, and you start to portray that upon other people. Like I said, not only is it affecting you, but it's also affecting other people and in their subconscious mind. Now, what I really want to say from that, what I really want to grasp from that is the idea that this is where having that mastermind group or surrounding yourself with individuals that may not have that fear or don't try to portray those fear or negative thoughts towards others is very important. It allows you to stop getting in this habit, but it allows you to escape groups and individuals who fall into this habit, which I think is very important. I would love to see if he would have mentioned that in that little bit, but I can sense that that's what the gist is about. So yeah, that's chapter 15. I will see you guys tomorrow for chapter 16. And like I said, we're closing out the book. I don't know if you guys could see, but we just got a little bit left. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Peace.